Well, good morning, everybody. We made it back. Welcome to another edition of Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune for the 23rd day of March, 2020. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside. And if you haven't been here before, welcome. If you've come back, thank you so much. I don't know, this is kind of my lifeline. I don't know, maybe hopefully it's the lifeline for others just to check in and get a little perspective on the day and what's coming and all of that. The moon's in the 12th house of Pisces. We're going to retreat today, not only because we have to, but to focus on home and hearth. We need to figure this out. We need to figure out how staying home is going to work for us. And for my husband and myself, we're accustomed to this. This is just how we live. So we're this is just like, well, okay, we just have to figure out how often we can go to the grocery store. And we haven't been for a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks now, and I've just been ordering stuff in from Amazon. And I may switch to other folks if I can't get something there, but I just think that if we are creative right now, we can get through this. I don't see why we can't really. I don't know where my fan went. I'll try this one. I think we can get through this. Sextile Mars, Moon sextile Mars, so we're going to want to avoid some rash decisions or angry reactions. A lot of things are making people angry right now. You're going to have to stay off and don't listen to any of the president guys, that guy in the Oval Office, that guy. Don't listen to any of his press conferences. He's not making sense. They're going to have to remove him from this process or from the job. They should have removed him from the job. He's clearly not up to the task. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's not doing the things he needs to be doing. And right now, that's going to cause people to get really angry as they see more and more people die. And it's because he can't seem to, keep the first responders safe by getting the equipment out to them that they need. He's just washing his hands of it all. He's not doing anything. He says he is, but then we find out a few hours later that no, that's not been happening, and it's not happening now. A couple days later, oh no, we haven't received anything. So something's wrong. And we need to right the ship yesterday. That's the urgency of this. So just make sure that you're thinking about what seems right to you. And please, listen to your governors who are telling you to take precautions. Those that aren't, I don't know what you do there. Take them anyway. Don't listen to those guys. Sextile Pluto, between Pluto and the moon today, truth is revealed. We're just going to have to accept where we are now, our situation, how we feel about it. Don't fight any of it. This is a difficult time. It makes sense that everyone's afraid. Everyone is either in denial or they're terrified, one of the two. Just be honest in how you express yourself, but try to avoid, again, rashness and impulsive decisions. You might have to make a decision on a dime right now. You might have to. But wherever you can do it, however you can do it in a way that is informed, I hope that that's possible. Sun, 12th house Aries, still have time for reflection, develop new paths, new possibilities. Consider all that's occurring. But a conjunct between the Sun and Chiron, we're going to want to develop some healthier habits here going forward. To try to get through this. Mercury, 11th house Pisces, intuition is strong. Explore interactions with others. Don't leave anybody behind here. If you are estranged with anybody, drop it and contact them. Make sure that you check in with your if you're angry at your parents or your siblings or friends or neighbors or whatever, find a way to check in. Just drop whatever. Just say, you know what, I just want to make sure you're okay. I'm just thinking about you, and I just want to make sure you're okay. That's all you have to do. Send them a text, send them an email, post on their Facebook page, whatever you have to do, whatever you can do. Talk to them, on Twitter. But you need to just stay connected right now. as best we can without, any closer than 6 feet distance. I saw a picture of some folks in a neighborhood that lived just like 4 or 5 houses around, and you had people in lawn chairs and various chairs, but they're like, 20 feet apart. Some of them are kind of in the street, they're in their yards, but they're talking, and they got masks on and stuff, and but they're still engaging, and that's what we need to do. We need to make sure everybody's okay. If someone runs out of food, you can always go and drop some on their doorstep and run away quickly, but stay engaged with people as best you can. Sextile Uranus, between Uranus and Mercury, original thinking is required. Think outside the box right now. Trying the North Node, listen to the message given now. Listen to what people are saying. And that goes for the government. I realize the guy in the Oval Office can't hear anything. He can't process anything correctly. He's whatever this is that's going on with him, doctors are saying it's dementia. It's progressed to the point that he's not living in reality. So obviously he's not the guy you're going to be giving your messages to, because he can't process it now. So I think that but if someone's in trouble, if someone isn't feeling well, if someone's reaching out, listen. If they're scared, listen. Talk to them, and try to do whatever you can. Venus, first house Taurus, we're going to still be reflecting on our surroundings. If you can take a walk outside, do so safely. If you can, walk around your yard, your backyard, there's probably flowers coming up right now. Maybe you just want to do that. Just go sit there and look at everything that's in your backyard, and especially if the flowers are starting to bloom. Although if you have allergies like I do, that might not be as good an idea. So Mars, 10th house Capricorn. I was walking around outside and I thought, I live so far off the road though, but we have a lot of juniper, and right now the juniper it's the tree pollen that's out. So I've got a lot of willow on my property, and that's in bloom, and the catkins are out there, and so there's pollen flying everywhere, but particularly juniper. Oh my Lord. I go out there and I instantly, I just, stuffy up. It's terrible. But anyway, 10th house Capricorn, we're going to want to explore new experiences, but at the same time, we're trying to think outside the box on how we're doing that. Conjunct Jupiter and Mars, gain information. Use that information to protect yourself and others. Use it to benefit everybody. In other words, don't be suggesting treatments that aren't real and that could actually harm people. Strategic thinking is required now between Mars and there's a conjunct between Mars and Pluto. We have to think strategically now. We have to think about what makes sense and not, what you read on some conspiracy website. Jupiter, 10th house Capricorn, expand horizons, enroll in a course, maybe right now. You don't know what's going to happen at the end of this. Your job might not be there and you need to go do something else. And so you're going to want to, especially if you're already used to self-producing, if you're a programmer or whatever, maybe this would be a good time to shore up your skills. There's some links to At Your Own Pace down below, and also educative, and those are places where folks that are in the tech field can, especially if you're a coder, for programmer, but not just that. APRO is At Your Own Pace is other kinds of licensing, commercial licensing, and skills type of online training. And so, you can check out that kind of stuff. If you're interested in mushrooms, the Mushroom Academy has a mushroom course right now that's on that you can sign up for. Registration is on for that. If you're thinking of doing an online course, Teachable is having a Reach Summit beginning on the 24th. That's free to attend. All those links will be below this video here in case you want to look at something like that. I'm an affiliate for all that, so if you sign up, I get a commission. But it's just something to consider, even if you don't look at those. If the stuff that I have that I have below the video here, if that stuff is not to your liking, don't let go of the idea. There's other online course places out there that you might find something that helps you pass the time and helps maybe prepare you for something different. So I just think that we have to think outside the box and use the time at home wisely, and not go stir crazy and not let fear take over. So doing something productive is always a good thing. Um, let's see, Jupiter conjunct Pluto. We have the resolve, and this has been true now since last week as well. This conjunct between Jupiter and Pluto has been there. We have the resolve to accomplish anything we like. We also have the awareness to understand what's really happening to us right now, and that our federal government is failing us. Okay, we understand what this is. All right, you have to pay attention, and you have to take care of whatever you have to take care of here. It really is going to be about our own individual resolve and our resolve collectively to get through all of this. You're seeing a lot of people standing up. I heard of one physician that went and bought 1,000 masks for his hospital, or it was an administrator. But there is probably a doctor as well. Usually they are, or a lot of times they are. But because I think it's the emergency room administrator, went and bought 1,000 masks for $6.50 a mask. So it must have been the N95 ones. $6.50 a mask out of his own pocket to take back to the hospital where you see an administrator there. So people are doing things. Harbor Freight is donating all of their N95 masks, their face shields, and their gloves. Two different kinds of strength type of like 5s and 7s. I think I read milliliters or millimeters or whatever, not milliliters, millimeters. Whatever that is, whatever that signifies, they're going to donate all of them, and so you're seeing a lot of things happen now, which is very cool. Saturn 10th house Aquarius, reassessment of career. Well, gonna have to think outside the box again. Uranus again, be open to change. It's in Taurus. New experiences. We got to break free from old patterns and figure this out, and we can do this, folks. Lots of people are leaving suggestions on Facebook, on Twitter. They're leaving lots of, in fact, a lot of them that have COVID. They're basically they're updating their progress and how they're doing. If it takes a turn for the worse and they have to go into the hospital, sometimes other people are letting us know on their accounts. But we're seeing how people are coping with this, how it's affecting them. And so, we need to, profound change is happening right now. We're in a 22 year, and this is going to be taken out of our hands, and we just need to make the best of this. Seriously, the best of it. Uranus, semi-square Neptune, still in effect, a medium influence still. Guard against deception, or the long-played con. When you have people in government that are so self-dealing, there's your con. They're going to take care of themselves first. If there's time to take care of the people, well, okay, but there likely won't be, not if they're making the decisions. And so fortunately, the Democrats are not allowing any of this nonsense to go forward. And of course, they don't want to take care of the American people, blah, blah, blah. No, actually, they do. It's the corporations they don't really care so much about. They care about us. There's your distinction between the two parties. The Democrats want to take care of us and make sure we got money to live on. But they don't. The Republicans just want to take care of themselves and their corporate partners and sponsors. So that's what you have right now. But basically, everything is the same. Nothing else has really changed. Again, we're thinking outside the box right now, and that's just going to be for the foreseeable future. So let's go ahead and get started on the reading, though. We'll take our first 3 cards. We're going to do it randomly, the 13th one each time. The cards have been following the astrology. We have a 5 energy today with the 23rd. That's 2 and 3 is 5, so that's a 5 energy. So that's one of change, and it's also represents the pentagram. So you're talking safety and protection. Let's see, what else can I say about all this? I just think that we're just going to have to get creative and stay connected. You know, whatever issues we thought we had with one another right now, this is a little more important, don't you think? So let's go ahead and take a look at our first 3 cards and see if we need any more. Last week we did a couple of times, but I don't know. We'll see. So we begin with the Hierophant. Inner knowledge, divine teacher, the middle way, knowledge, tradition, structure. But it's a 5 energy, so change. You know, we're not like chicken eggs. We don't get plopped out and then we grow and, you know, whatever. We're always connected to source presence. Always. We're always connected to soul, because soul is what creates us. And it's not some light that sort of enters into some physical form. The physical form is created because we're focusing into it. And so it's more than, you know, we're more than just our personalities. We're more than just the ego. It's not about working our way back to God while we're here. It's about remembering that that's what we are, and that we're an expression or extension of the Creator in form. And instead, you know, we get caught up in reaction and all of that, and we forget to let Spirit inform everything, our perceptions, our choices, our behavior, all of it, how we see one another. And so basically, I think what we see with the Hierophant is, and we'll talk about that a little more in relation to the other cards, but we're seeing a spirit focus now. Maybe Spirit could focus in and help me shuffle my cards. Well, we have the King of Pentacles surrounding himself. Probably the most magnanimous of all the kings, but still it's a king. So without his queen to advise him, he has a hard time knowing the direction to take. And if his queen is useless, then, you know, I don't know. The authority at the top is lost, you know, which is what I think we have now. You know, capitalism is fine, but if it's not tempered with compassion for others and tempered with the notion that, okay, it's fine, I'm going to make whatever I want to, but we're going to take care of the social safety net first. And then after that, the sky's the limit. That's kind of how I see things. I think that it's fine to make a bunch of money, but if the least among us don't have anything to eat, there's a problem there. So we have to restructure that, right? Here we have the Emperor. So, okay. I think we're going to put the Hierophant in the center here. And we've got some king problems. We've got some male authority problems right now that we're going to be dealing with. We might need a 4th card, but I don't know. We're going to take the strength of the Hierophant, though. We'll start with him. So here we see the priest, or the Hierophant, the priest, the rabbi, however you want to see this. Whether you want to see this as, well, you would see it really more as the priest, not the rabbi. There's so many hermetic influences in the tarot that this depends on what deck you're looking at. When you see the familiar theme of 2 pillars, now this can be done a variety of ways. In this case, it's 2 pillars, but it could be 2 mountains, it could be 2 trees, anything where you see, or 2 towers, anything where you see 2 of something, and you can like either see a pathway or a river or something, or just a way forward that goes through the middle. It's basically suggesting the middle path or balance. And here we see the keys down below. I believe that's knowledge and tradition. You see everything in 3s. You see 3s on his crown. Well, you see 5 down below first. But then you see the 3 up above. But you see the tri-level crown. You see 5 points down below. Looks like there's 3 on the next level. It's kind of a weird looking thing though. Look at that. Maybe there's 5. But you see 3 up the top sticking up. You see 3 lines on his scepter. You see, it looks like only 2 fingers are up, but he's including the thumb, so there's 3 there. You see the triple aspects between he and the monks. You see the 3 crosses on the white raiment, and you see the diamond, which might actually be a Merkaba. It's difficult to tell, but it looks more like a diamond. You see more crosses on his crossed feet because his feet are crossed. So you can think that really that there's 5 crosses there. But the monks are kneeling basically before their divine teacher. Basically, what the Hierophant is all about is allowing spirit to inform everything, to allow spirit to guide your process. We don't need a priest to tell us what to do. That's not what this card is saying, or what it's suggesting. It's suggesting the Hierophant within, the priest within, the soul awareness, the spiritual awareness within, to let that guide how we do things. Now, who is it guiding? Well, it's guiding this guy. Okay. And it doesn't really matter which one that we're talking about, but clearly soul is not guiding the king right now, or the emperor, the guy in charge. Spirit's not guiding that person. The only thing it's guiding that person is wealth, and the acquisition of wealth, and staying afloat. To heck with everybody else. As long as he's okay, it's fine, right? So. But we don't even have, I'm not even going to get started on Rand Paul. Yeah, I don't know. If you think you might be exposed, and you're a doctor, medical doctor, one would think that you wouldn't go into a locked swimming pool that you can get into because you know the keypad, code. They said don't go in there, but he did anyway on the day he got his test results back. He went swimming in the pool. Yeah, he's positive for coronavirus. Yeah, that's how much he cares. Yeah, that's how much he cares. So anyway, this is what we're dealing with. You see what I mean? When authority has run amok and authority's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. I mean, it's like when parents aren't at home with the kids. We had a neighbor that did that. Left both her boys home, and she was in the middle of a divorce, and actually the property belonged to the husband. It was a newer marriage, He wasn't the father of the boys. And so they got a hold of a weapon, and they're a BB gun, and no, it wasn't a BB gun, it was a 22. And the one kid's shooting, right? And so the guy across the street, who was a retired pastor, he went and contacted the sheriff's department. When I found out what was going on, I also contacted the sheriff's department, which is how I found out that other people were calling. I'm like, well, why aren't you out there? And so they came, they called mom, said, get home. And she's crying and saying, I'm not an unfit mother. Well, yes, she was. She was. It's just clear, obviously, right? I don't know. It's authority run amok. Authority not taking care of business. It's authority thinking about their own needs. She wanted to be out drinking with her boyfriend. That's all she wanted to do. She literally was living in the next city over with this guy while her teenage boys are home alone. Right. That's what we have right now. Living the life of Riley while the rest of us are wondering whether or not we're even going to survive. That's what we have right now. We have a king who's surrounded by all of his greenery and finery. You see all the grapes. It's indicative of abundance. His back is to the kingdom. His focus is on the big coin in his hand. The power of indifference. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the power of indifference right now. Here we have the same thing. Look very closely to his eyes. They're a little bit askew. They're a little bit to his right. He can't look you in the eye, the emperor can't. A 4 energy, you know, this is a guy who should be providing structure, but it's challenged, not without the empress guiding him. He can't do it. And you don't have to think of the empress as an individual. You can think of the qualities that could be guiding the emperor, that could be guiding the king, right? But it's not. It's purely patriarchal type of energy. And as we know, that's not done the world any good at all. The shift to that a few thousand years ago, shifting to patriarchy and watching the diminishment of the goddess in people's lives. Everything became male-oriented and male-structured and male-powered. And nothing has ever been the same since. We have a 9 energy here with this, a signaling completion or endings. I have to wonder if, in fact, I can do a pendulum on it right now. I have to wonder if they're going to allow him to even go out in front of people anymore after the unhinged stuff we're hearing him say. You know, hawking, again, Plaquenil, when that needs, now people with lupus, I never took Plaquenil when I had severe RA. I took other things, but my doctors weren't of the persuasion to do that. But there are some groups of RA doctors, rheumatologists that prescribe Plaquenil for, well, they do it for lupus sufferers. They also do it for some people on RA. And so basically, as I'm sitting here talking, it's agreeing with me. And we can't have a president that is sitting out there dispensing medicine or medical advice when he's not a doctor. And the doctors are all going, no, 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 this is not a good idea. This can kill you. So yeah, it's saying don't take it. But basically, are they going to stop him? Let me get my hand more steady. Are they going to stop him from having these briefings? Because it's affecting the people. Oh, look at that. It's really swinging wide, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, we may see that end, the briefings, because they're an hour and a half long, and basically what he's doing is he's holding campaign rallies at a podium. Okay, he can't do that. It's just like he can't, going all the time to these rallies, if his campaign isn't paying for it, which I don't think it is, then they're certainly not paying the venues. They owe a ton of money. They're not paying it, right? And so these cities have to absorb all of it because they're not going to ever get their money. So basically what you've got now is he's doing rallies every day at the podium and spewing lies and spewing information that's just going to make everybody less safe, not doing anything. It's almost like he's taunting everybody, like, I'm doing everything, and he knows in fact he's not doing anything. So it's a weird, psychotic type of abusive, sadistic, maybe is the better word. I mean, it is. It's true sadism to get up there knowing you're not doing anything and telling everybody you are. I mean, why are you doing that? Just go away. So that may, according to the pendulum, that may come to an end. I hope so. They need to sit him down and just tell him, dude, if you want to stick this out till the end here, you need to stop. Otherwise, we're going to 25th you, get you out of there. That would be lovely. We might actually get somewhere here. We might get some decisions made that need to be made, because clearly right now that's not going to happen. Let's take a rune though and see. This is a really interesting reading. The Hierophant is basically telling the king, you've got to get right with your soul here. You've got to understand that it is not just simply about you and a handful of rich people, that you've got everybody. You know, seeing people as the other side of self is part of invoking spirit into form, instead of seeing them as the other. And right now we have a king or a president that sees us all as somebody that he doesn't want to be bothered with, that we're inconsequential. The real people to take care of are the rich ones that are going to keep him in power. But will they? See? Because without us, they got nothing, right? Maybe some of them realize that. We have Degas. Again, that's the 23rd rune of the Elder Futhark. So you're looking at a 5 energy, again, reinforcing today's 5 energy. And I'm going to draw this one because it's actually a bind rune. You've got more than just Degas and Degas. Those of you who've been here before know that I do this. I think that just looking at what is contained within the rune itself, how many other runes are contained within it, I think you can get an idea just from that what the meaning of the rune is. But basically what, and I love this, this is not my interpretation, this is someone else's, and I still can't remember who it was. It might be Tyrael, but I'm not sure. Energy at its saturation point becomes its opposite. Looks like a little bow tie. Little X that have got terminated ends. Turn it this way, it's the beginnings of the Merkaba before it starts to come together and move into its place. You also have fire, the symbols for fire and water there. Meeting in the center, will and emotions. But basically, Degas means a new day, and that's where we're at in this 22 year. You know, soul is coming in and saying, "Look, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite the ship here since y'all can't figure it out." It's like when mom comes home and the house is a disaster. It's like, geez, you know, couldn't you have just picked up? It's like, well, then get out of my way. My mother was like this. Just, well, get out of my way. I'll do it myself. Well, what you have here is you have Gebo in the center, the 7th rune of the Elder Futhark, and you have Isa on either end. Balanced energy exchange. And that's really when you say energies at its saturation point becomes its opposite. We're finishing one thing and beginning another, in other words. So that's why you say new day dawning with this. Isa, the 11th rune of the Elder Futhark, a Norn rune, for the present moment. It freezes things into place, so it terminates that energy. So basically, the ending of one thing and the beginning of another is within a container of sorts. Let's see, and then what's informing the whole thing? We have Kenaz in all directions. Contained within that X, within Gebo. So that's the light of spirit expressing in all directions. And where does the light of spirit come from? It comes from within. It doesn't come from without. We think of it that way. But if we think, it might be, I don't know, I think that we're so interested in directionality, aren't we? I mean, you've got past, present, future, that's all directionality. Which direction did they come from? Or what direction did this come from? We're all interested in that, right? So I'm thinking that when we think in terms of expression of soul, what we're really thinking of is what begins within. But we think in terms of the spiraling down into form, and so we think above and below. We think as above, so below. So, you know, that's, I think, how we get confused about where all this comes from. Where do we come from? Is the soul outside of us, and does it have to come in? Well, no. It's a constant stream of energy. That I've been saying this forever. It's a constant stream of energy. It's not something we reach for, although we talk about it that way. It really isn't something we reach for, other than we turn our awareness to and our remembrance to. It's constantly flooding us with information. It's constantly blessing us at every given second. And that's what the Hierophant is telling us today, is to allow that process to happen and allow a new day to take hold. Come back into balanced reciprocity with others. Come back into balanced energy exchange with others, and let the new day take hold. We have been kept at loggerheads and kept in such conflict and in such division that's been manufactured and enhanced by this man who can't get it together enough to get masks or ventilators out to hospitals. Because that's where it is. He lacks the ability, the intellect. He lacks the mental capacity. In other words, he's got diminished capacity, and he cannot make these decisions for us now. Someone else is going to have to step in and do that for him because he can't. It's beyond him. Let's take a look at the geomancy runes for today. Well, setting it up there is not going to make it any better, so let me get my light. One of my lights burned out, one of my salt lamps that I have on the floor, and it just gives me enough light. I don't know, but it burned out. Oh, well, where are my notes? Let's see if I can find them. Oh, they're back here. Well, I'm not going to be able to get to them because they're back here. So let me look and see which one this is for sure, but I think that this is Tristitia. I don't think it's Laetitia, but let me double check. Here we go. No. Oh no, that's not Tristitia or that's not Tristitia. That's Cauda draconis. Those aren't twos, those are ones. Okay. All right. Well, here's the thing. It reinforces Degas, Cauda does, because the draconi in geomancy, oh, in case you don't know what I'm doing, I forget sometimes that maybe you're new, and I close these readings with a geomancy rune. I create a geomancy rune to just give us some kind of earth type of divination perspective on things. And you could say that runes are as well. They're also an earth type, but they're really not. They're more of a spirit informing because they were given to Odin by the Norns, by the goddesses. You can do geomancy in a variety of ways. I do a monthly geomancy reading on the blog at the beginning of each month, along with a monthly tarot reading. You can check that out if you want to. There's also a link there usually to building a shield chart, a geomancy shield chart, and if you want to look at that and click on it, you can see how I do it. But for divination purposes, basically how I structure all of it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Foundations in Magic series on geomancy, and just to give people an idea of this type of deal. But how I do it, you can take a handful of peas or beans and throw them down and count them. If it's an odd number, it results in a 1, a single dot. If it's an even number, you get 2 dots. I just did 4. They're put in there. I did 4 runes. They're coded 1 dot on one side, 2 on the other. They're coded for the elements. There's 4 elements, and there's 4 levels to the rune, and they go in fire, air, water, and earth order. And so I just thought I'll do runes, and that's what I did. And that's the 2 side, and that's earth. It's coded earth. And so basically what I ended up with today then is Cauda draconis. Caput draconis is its opposite or its complement. Caput would represent the north node of the moon, and Cauda represents the south node of the moon. We're talking about the head and the tail of the dragon. Here's Cauda. Now, Cauda draconis, Carcer, and Rubeus are the 3 that geomancers of old, if they created this the first go around, because you do it 4 times, and then from those 4 you create the rest of the chart. If they were to have done this one first, they would have ended the reading, destroyed everything, and considered it too evil to continue. But all Cauda draconis is talking about karma. It's talking about the past. It's talking about past lives and the influence that it has now. But it's also talking about the end of the matter or endings. And so that's why it reinforces the idea of something new on the horizon, because something is coming to a close, something that's karmic based, something that is past life influence or just influence of the past. Basically, if you want to think of it in the standpoint of evil, which, I'm kind of wishy about that. I don't know. I don't know if I want to judge it that way. But if you want to think of it as being an evil influence, then you should really probably think of it more as an unstable influence. And so if you can think about in terms of maybe the end of an unstable influence and maybe going on into something else, then it also reinforces what the pendulum says in that those 90-minute press conference / rally substitutes aren't going to happen anymore. That they're going to come to a close here before long, that it's going to be deemed too dangerous for him to come out and talk to anybody. But here's the thing. You know, it's like or we're just ignoring the obvious. If he's too dangerous to do that, he's too dangerous to be there. If he's not fit to do that, he's not fit to be there. It's just simple. They had a chance and they blew it. I don't know. Everyone tried to tell them, but oh no, now here we are. First responders will never ever vote Republican again. I don't know how they can. You know, I really don't. I don't know how anybody can. They don't think right. They just don't. So I don't know. I don't know what happened to the true conservative. I don't know what happened to that. But I used to know them. I did. I was never one, but I used to know them. And I wouldn't have feared them. I wouldn't have worried about them. I just might have disagreed now and then with them. But for the most part, you know, we all agree there's just a certain things we might have disagreed on. But that's all it ever was. You know, you'd figure out a way forward. Someone would give, the other would give a little, the other would give a little. We'd create a way forward. That doesn't exist now. We have to look at that. We have to pay attention to that. So while we're home and we're in home confinement, think about things maybe from a different perspective. Allow spirit to inform all of it and see where you come out. So anyway, come back tomorrow and we'll chat again and we'll see what the astrology says. We'll see, you know, kind of how it can help us structure our day right now. And then we'll see what the cards and the runes have to say. And hopefully we'll just take this time to connect with each other. If you want to leave some comments, go ahead. I'd love you to do that. And we'll just check in every day with each other. I do this 4 days a week. I might do it 7 at the rate we're going, though. I thought about that this weekend, but we'll see how it goes. And or just to have a little check-in, maybe just to see how everybody's doing. But in any event, we'll talk again tomorrow. So check out the blog, check out the Patreon thing, check out the stuff below here. Again, I'm going to move some stuff up to the top part of the links that I have, all the information I have in the show more section. I'm going to move some of that up so that some of it's already there, but I'm going to move some of the other online stuff up just in case you're interested in doing something like that while you're home. So in any event, thank you so much for watching. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.